Welcome back to the Moonchild Podcast. I'm your host, Elijah KB, and today we're going to be talking about the power of focus. Okay, whatever you focus on grows. That's not just a saying. Whatever you focus on literally grows in the spiritual aspect, even in the physical aspect. Okay, I dedicate this episode to those whose life is in a disarray, is pretty chaotic. For those who would like to believe that multitaskers are good multitaskers. But in reality, when you look around, your life is, again, chaotic. You don't have anything really in order, right? This episode is for you because I really feel like you can take something away from this and really grow from this, okay? So, the power of focus, right? Let's take multitasking right off the top, right? Like right off top, like when you feel like you can multitask or you have the urge to want to multitask and do multiple things. Hey, I can't knock it. If you know my background and you know, me outside of podcasting, right? I do a lot of things. Okay. But you want to focus on one thing at a time. Okay. You would have to actually put focus on that one thing and of course show dedication over time as well. If you stop, you take a break, come back and dedicate more time to it, meanwhile staying focused on it, and that's how things grow for you, right? Light went out, fuck it, we ain't gonna worry about it. Okay. That's how things are going to grow for you. Okay. If you're doing a bunch of shit, you know what I mean? No matter if it's, your crafts or just trying to take care of multiple things at once, and you're just trying to put out every fire and do things for others and whatever, you're going to end up being either pretty good, at a lot of things, or okay at a lot of things at best, and really shitty at a lot of things at worst, right? Because again, in order to really develop anything properly, you would have to focus on that one thing. Okay. This is not for those who are really good at multitasking. Even though it's kind of for you too, because focus can be applied to all people, or as far as it could be useful to all people to develop that, right? So you even if you are fairly good at doing multiple things at once, you do want to start to learn the art of focusing in on one thing at a time, seeing one thing through to the end. You understand? You don't want to be the person who has a lot of incomplete projects everywhere. You just don't finish anything because you can't seem to focus, or once it gets difficult to focus, you allow yourself to break the focus thinking it's not that important. And if you don't feel like doing it, then fuck it, I'm just not going to do it. I'm gonna just wait till I feel like doing it. But then notice the pattern within your life. You never finish shit, right? You never finish shit. You have a lot of cool things that you could be doing or you could have done, but you never see anything through because you feel like focus is not really your focus, right? You've never really developed it. Okay. And so over time, this will build a poor relationship with yourself, poor trust within yourself, because now you associate your behavior or you doing things, you associate never completing things with yourself. So you have that belief within yourself that you don't see things through anyway. So you have like a poor rapport with yourself, right? You don't really have much of a trust within your own ability to see things through, and you become more and more comfortable with that. And over time, your life will showcase a lot of potential, maybe a lot of things that you never quite finished. Okay. And so this is where focus comes in at, because once focus is developed, right, and you see things through to the end, you can really see all of your ability, and you can really build a stronger trust within yourself to not only see things through, but also a new level of confidence as well comes with that, right? Because you now associate yourself with whatever you've done with that focus, right? Also, focusing on one thing at a time, of course, helps with whatever you're focusing on, right? As far as organizing your life. All right. If you have a lot of shit going on and it's just a bunch of then focus is the thing that you need to master. Focus is the thing you need more of. Focus is the thing that it needs to be your focus right now, right? Period. You know what I mean? You're not going to see any order within your life if you're everywhere, and then you give into the feeling of fuck it. You know what I mean? I don't feel like it. I did all I can. Now it can be a thin line between focused and obsessed. I learned this myself, due to myself. You understand? Due to me going through the experiences of getting really in tune with a project and then becoming obsessive over it and not really giving myself the break I need. You definitely want to take breaks when you're working on something in particular, or even yourself, even things you're working on within yourself or your businesses or things like that. Breaks are important after a certain amount of time. You don't want to become obsessed, because then it starts to build resistance, and then you are actually repelling what you're trying to manifest or what you're trying to see in your reality, right? But pulling that back would mean you land right there in the middle of, where there's focus. You got, half-assing, you got obsessed, and in the middle you have focus, right? You want to get to focus, and then this is when things will start to turn around for you, and you will start to see a lot more desirable results in your life with whatever you apply focus on. So you've never really developed focus, so you've never really seen it. You don't know what you're capable of. That being said, you don't fucking know what you're capable of. You don't know what you can actually do, because you've been limiting yourself, subconsciously, not subconsciously, but indirectly limiting yourself by not actually applying yourself fully, right? Not applying yourself fully. Bob Proctor gave an example. I used to listen to Bob Proctor a lot during the beginning of my spiritual journey, and he said this one thing that really stuck with me. It was pretty much touching on focus, right? And what he said was, and I'm paraphrasing, but what he said was basically, if there were words on the wall in front of you and you had a candle, but you had a little bit of a distance, maybe like, 2-3 feet, maybe 4 or 5 feet, right, away from the wall, and you held up the candle in front of you, in the dark. It's a dark room. You held up the candle in front of you and you're trying to read the words, right? And the light is really dim. A little bit of light is here, there, a little bit on the wall, a little bit behind you, a little bit on the floor, a little bit on your face, whatever. The light is kind of like everywhere, right? So you would think your first thought would probably be, well, I don't have enough light, right? I don't have enough light, so I can't read it. If you take that same light power that you had within that candle and you put it in the flashlight, you put it in a flashlight, right? And you hold it up to the wall from the same distance and you put it across the words, right? You flash it across the words, you will be able to read the words with ease, right? So that's pretty much a beautiful metaphor for what focus can do for you and the power of it, all right? So this is all the time I got for y'all tonight. This has been the Moonchild Podcast with the Moonchild, his motherfucking self, Elijah KB. Thank y'all. I appreciate you. For those interested in spiritual advice, I now have a page where you can sign up for a one-on-one hour session with myself. The link will be in the description. And for any questions and topics for the podcast, feel free to email them to me.